to the sound of my alarm piercing the dawn. Got a lot on my mind and I just can't seem to rub it off. But I'm not feeling tired, not feeling tired at all. Looks like the winter brought in the snowfall late last night. Not a trace of any footprints here, and no one there to call. But I don't feel alone, not alone at all. Your love is sweet like a melody sung to my soul. Your love is snowfall covering the earth, wash me white as snow.
Okay, let's get right on to business here. So like I said, I'm really excited that we have a whole new generation of travel enthusiasts on the Travel Channel coming on. You know, we produce these events around the country, and we're always looking for how many travel experts are there that people have heard of, first of all, right? And who wants to listen to them? So for us, we have a whole bunch of new people coming to the Travel Channel, and Josh Gates is one of them. He's an avid explorer. He's been to over 90 countries. Evidently, he has a unique brand of humor, which I'm sure we're going to find out about. He's an avid scuba diver, photographer. He's done all kinds of cool stuff, but the latest thing is Expedition Unknown, which premiered on the Travel Channel just last month. Has anyone seen it?
Woo!
Wow, groupies.
Truthies.
So he's also been on Sci-Fi Channel, Destination Truth.
Woo!
And he's got a book, chronicles his travels, which is Destination Truth, Memoirs of a Monster Hunter. So we're excited to bring Josh Gates to the stage. I think he's going to give us a different take on how to spend our time traveling around the world. So let's give a big, loud welcome for Josh Gates.
Thanks, sir. Hi, everybody. How are you?
Hey!
Can you hear me?
Yes.
No. It's kind of weird acoustics in here, so hopefully you can hear me a little. Thank you all for coming today. I'd like to start by telling you about the worst vacation of my life. It happened in 2007. I should point out that I travel professionally for a living. This is the worst trip I have ever been on. Happened in 2007. My best friend Yon rides with phone. My best friend Yon came out to Los Angeles where I live. He had a week off from medical school, studying to be a doctor. And he came to Los Angeles, and we made no plans of any kind. We decided that the smartest thing to do would be for the two of us to drive from my apartment in Los Angeles to the tip of Cabo San Lucas in Mexico. Has anybody made this drive? Show of hands. Okay. It is a long way, it turns out. The only thing I did by way of research was to look at the map. It is about 1,200 miles, it turns out, but I figured, no problem, we'll knock that out one long day of driving. Couldn't be easier. The only smart decision that I made was I decided to not take my car into Mexico. At that time, there had been a whole bunch of carjackings, and so I said, okay, I'm going to leave my car on the U.S. side. And so I did that, parked in some overpriced lot on the U.S. side, and then myself and my friend walked over the bridge into Tijuana. And my big plan is I'm going to go to the Tijuana airport and I'm going to rent a car. Because when I parked my car in the U.S., I called Hertz. And I said, hey, what's the rate for a car at the Tijuana airport? And they said it was like 30 bucks a day or something. And I said, okay, great. I didn't book the car, but I did call and get the rate. And after paying way too much money for a cab ride to the Tijuana airport, I walk up to the Hertz counter. And there's nobody around. It's totally empty. It's like middle of the day now. And this little short, heavy guy with a huge mustache walks up to the counter and he says, hola, senor, welcome to Hertz. And I said, I would like to rent a car for the next, I think we had like 5 days or something. I'd like to rent a car the next 5 days. He quotes me a price of like $900 to rent this car. And I say, but hold on a second, I just called Hertz. And they quoted me like 30 bucks a day. And he just sort of shrugs his shoulders. He says, you know, sorry, senores, you know. No, not moving at all. My phone doesn't work now, I'm in Mexico. And I'm furious, because I hate getting ripped off. So I say, fine, forget this. I'm going over to Avis. And I walk down the counter to the Avis sign, and then this little guy just walks down the counter over here, and he looks at me like dead-eyed, and he goes, hola, senor, welcome to Avis. And that's like, you know, I'm doomed, right? So he says that he has one car, which he is willing to part with, that is $400, which is the best I'm going to do here. And he leads me outside to this. It is an original Volkswagen Beetle with a cheap matte white paint job. And the inside of this car has been totally burned out. We're kind of shaken. It's been a rough second day. We pull into the worst motel that exists on the planet. I'm sure of it. A courtyard-shaped motel. Let me paint a picture here for you. A courtyard-shaped motel, 2 floors. The whole right side of the motel has collapsed. Fate of the guests in this area is unknown. They're gone, I guess. We walk, it's dark, it's night, I'm worried that maybe the cops are going to come back, I don't really know what's going to happen. We walk in, we get a room from a lovely guy with a scorpion tattoo on his face, and we go into this room. This room is bad, it smells very bad. Instead of 2 beds, there are 2 poured concrete slabs that have about a 1/4-inch mattress on top, no sheets, and 2 old pillows. I will spare you a description of the bathroom in this motel. But hey, we're inside. The day is done. There is a ceiling fan, I should point out, that is missing a blade, that is slowly swinging in a very unnatural arc, with wiring stapled to the ceiling and the wall. We go to sleep. In the middle of the night, I am awoken by the worst possible sound, which is the car alarm on my horrible Volkswagen Beetle, which somebody is now trying to steal. And as much as I hate this car, I don't want to spend the rest of my life at this motel. So both of us, out of a dead sleep, we sort of instantly realize what's happening. We can hear people outside. And I rush over and I grab the door handle. And what I did not know is that when we had entered the room and shut the door, the wiring from the ceiling fan had become pinched in the door, which was a metal storm door. And so I grab the door handle and immediately get electrocuted, which takes my legs out from under me and drops me to the floor. My friend swats the wiring out of the door jamb. I've now burned my hand, quite badly actually, and I get back on my feet, I grab a pocket knife, I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I grab a pocket knife, and now the door can be opened. I open the door, and as we come outside, 3 or 4 guys are taking off around the corner. They've given up on the Beetle. And I'm like full of adrenaline now, and I guess electricity, and I come bounding off this porch with my knife so fast that both of my feet go out from under me. Oh, I should point out that I'm wearing nothing but boxer shorts at this point. Both of my feet go out from under me, and I land on my back in 2 inches of chicken shit. No. And I'm laying there, sort of waving my knife at the moon, with like chickens, literally chickens around. It's just the worst. And the next morning, we make it to Cabo, and I walk up to the fanciest hotel that I can find, and I throw a credit card down. Money is now no object to me, right? I'm Chevy Chase in vacation. We are going to Wally World. This is happening, right? So I say, I want a room that opens onto the beach. That is what I want. And they give me a room that opens onto the beach. We rush out to the beach. We jump in the water. I'm washing off the animal feces. Everything's good with the world, except that the ocean is really rough. I mean, like, weirdly rough. And I get knocked down pretty hard by a wave, and I'm sitting there on the beach kind of shaking water out of my ear, and a guy walks up who's hawking jewelry on the beach, and he looks at me, he sees that I've just been clocked by this wave, and he says, there's a big storm coming, man. And in fact, yes, there was a big storm coming. It was a Category 3 hurricane when it arrived in Cabo San Lucas, a few hours after we arrived. At that point, we got back in the car, checked out of the hotel room immediately, having enjoyed it for about, I don't know, 2 hours. By the time we got back to downtown Cabo, the town had already flooded. The water went up the sides of the Beetle and came into the car, down into the footwells. This water was dark brown and smelled a lot like sewage. And the car didn't stall. I'll say this for the Beetle. The Beetle was a champ in the end. It didn't stall. We got about an hour north of town. Hurricanes are very slow. So an hour out of town, up on high ground, no sign of the hurricane. It's behind us. We pull into a gas station where we paid 3 guys to tip the Beetle on its side to attempt to drain the dark brown water out of the Beetle. At that point, we got back into the car and drove in complete silence all the way home. We drove for 20 hours straight, returned the car, cab back to the footbridge, back over to the US border, back into my car and home, and I don't think we said one thing to each other. And we both got fleas.
Oh.